guys, Ryan Steinelson here with Accelerate Marketing. I'm the founder of Accelerate Marketing. It's a digital marketing agency that's been around for over 16 years now. And what I'm talking about today is AI agents. They are, let me just turn that up. Okay. They're AI agents, and they are taking the world by storm. But what AI agents are, they're voice agents that help you to qualify leads and to also do a lot more in your business. Everything from scheduling appointments to pretty much anything else that you need done in your business. So we at Accelerate have been helping businesses generate pre-qualified, pre-sold leads for that, like I said, that 16 years. We are Google Local Service Ad certified partners, and we do that, the lead generation optimization, with two main platforms that we optimize for. One is Google Local Service Ads. The other is Google Business Profile. And we do that with our team of over 29 people that are phenomenal at what they do. We've got over 500 five-star reviews, actually more, hundreds of five-star reviews. We've helped thousands of businesses over the years. And also, I got Hennessy on the call, so we're gonna have somebody backstage here. If you have any questions, you can go to, you can text us at 619-304-5155, or go to our school community, school.com, skool.com/local lead labs. In this workshop, we help you to implement AI, answer any questions. This is a workshop format, so the goal is to get interaction, engagement, to get you to be able to get your questions answered. So please ask any questions that you want in the chat. And with that, I'll add Hennessy to the stage. How you doing, Hennessy?
Yes, I'm doing great. Ryan, thanks. How about yourself?
Awesome. Doing good, doing good. How are things going with your agency? I know that you're an agency owner, correct?
Yeah, it's quite good, but yeah, it's quiet. Having problems actually due to
Yeah, what's going on?
the advancement. Not quite sure where this is going, but I'm actually targeted, focused on personal injury, right? And I see some locations that when you actually see the ranking there, you cannot there's no Google business profile attached under LSA, but they're ranking very well. Like there's no address
Mhm.
when you click their ad. So have you stumbled something like that, Ryan?
Yeah, so you've got a competitor that is ranking in the search results, and they don't have a Google Business Profile page, and they're showing up
Yeah,
on local service ads.
yeah. There's some kind like home services like feature on
Okay.
LSA. I know we're different, right, for law firms because law firms should have um location area or location or
Mhm.
storefront, as they say. But
Mhm.
I see some competitors actually in PI that they don't have that. They just basically, um, there's no address. Like you cannot
Okay.
click unless you go to the Google Maps and search their location, which is indeed
Mm.
there is. They're active and they are not sub like service area business. They are not like that. They're just regular storefront.
Okay. So what's the what's do you want to look them up? I'll share my screen.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. What's the area that you're looking at?
You can go ahead and go for Chicago on personal injury.
Okay. So here's the Google local service ads section, and there's people that you can see if you go to messages. Most of these guys are, they've gone to some typically replies in a few minutes. They're using some sort of AI to respond to these. Now, there are some agents out there that respond, and it's just a bot. And so, there's there's solutions like LSA Respond and things like that that it just sends one response, but it doesn't have a back and forth conversation with the person. So that's probably what these guys are using. Okay, so let me just go back here. So what business? So where it's so they're showing up here. So which of these guys is showing up that's shouldn't be?
Go to the SERP for LSA, the one that you click the more business there, that show
Okay.
more, like that. It's actually there. Go down. I saw quite few. Believing that the LSA is quite doing some A/B testing on this one for
Mm-hmm.
theory,
Yeah.
but I'm not quite sure if that's, if you stumble that one. If you click those
Yeah.
that one, yeah, if you click
This
that,
one. Yeah.
yeah, you try to see if they have an address. This is the regular one, right? So
Yeah.
basically they have address like LaSalle
Yeah.
streets, but there's LSA that don't have that, and they're ranking very well.
Yeah, but
If
but
you
but, but, but it doesn't necessarily mean they don't have a good they don't have a Google Business Profile page. I mean, I wouldn't say that it like if you find one here that that doesn't have an address, I don't necessarily think that that means that they don't have a Google Business Profile page. Is it? Which is I think what you were saying, correct?
Yeah, but the thing is, I see sometimes most of the people that ranking on the first page is actually those guys. Like, there are the
Mm-hmm.
guys that actually ranking 1 to 3 don't have like that thing on. There's no Google Business Profile attached on their
Oh,
LSA.
right here,
So,
yeah, yeah. So there's no GBP for this
oh
guy.
yeah, that one. Yeah, that one.
Yeah,
And he's number one, right?
yeah. But I mean, again, I don't think that sometimes they're just not showing the address. I think they still have a Google Business Profile page, and we've got Paul that's joined us. Hey, Paul, how you doing?
Hey,
Can you
Paul.
hear us? Or you think your mic? There you go. I think you're.
Thanks so much for having me here.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Is that you, Paul?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can now. Yes. How you doing?
Perfect. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for asking. Thank you so much for having me here, Ryan.
Yeah. So what do you do?
Yeah, I also do some LSA stuff, and would like to get some insights from you guys. That's why I'm here.
Okay. So what problems are you having right now?
Yeah, I also have clients for PIs. Same with Hennessy, I think.
Do you guys know each other?
No.
Not really.
Okay, awesome. So you have clients that are PI clients that you're doing work for. You're
Mm.
managing their local service ads. Are you guys? Let me ask you: Are you implementing any sort of a AI response system for the message leads or the phone or phone calls or like for backing up their intake or no?
I know that's what I want to talk to you about that thing, because I'm interested what we have talked last you know last time.
Mhm. Okay. And was that Paul or is that Hennessy?
It was me. It was Hennessy.
Hennessy. Okay. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. I mean, we can. So I'm, so Accelerate Marketing. I'm the founder of Accelerate Marketing. They have um, a solution for business owners that is a conversational AI solution that they offer. Now, um, if you have any questions, you can message me directly. I would recommend that you go to our school community. And let me just go here to stop sharing the screen. So you can go to our school community here. It's school.com/local lead labs. Send a message to me privately in there, and I can point you the right direction as far as a white label solution. I mean, but because that's really what you'd want. You'd want to be able to resell it, or are you looking just for like our agency to actually just implement the AI agent for your clients? What are you looking to do?
Um, I just want to know how it works. Like I'm a I'm a I got fall down and on the floor. I got my back broken, and I call a lawyer.
Mhm.
And how it works after there, right? Like someone respond like a robot, like that.
Yeah. No, so what we do, and it depends. I mean, so there's many ways to set up an agent. The way that I would set up an agent, an AI agent, is, and we'll call one here in a second so you can experience it. But basically, it's there's the way that we recommend that you do it is that you have the agent back up your intake. Okay, so in other words, you've got their normal intake, you've got their people that answer the phone. Typically these guys have anywhere between 3 and 10, maybe even up to 20 or 30 people that are answering the phone for inbound phone calls for the marketing that they're doing. And what they'll do is they'll have the phone calls go to those people for the first 20 seconds. And then if those people that are in their intake can't answer the phone, then they'll forward that call or they'll flip it over to an AI agent as opposed to a call service. The reason why we recommend or AI agents over call services is because we found that the AI agents are much more reliable in terms of answering the calls and responding to message leads within 30 seconds. So, and that's the magic number is 30 seconds or less. You've got to respond to these people in 30 seconds or less based on all the data. Any leads that go longer, that take longer than 30 seconds to be responded to, your likelihood of converting those leads goes down exponentially every 5 minutes, like by a factor of 2. So you like effectively cut in half the likelihood that you're going to convert the lead if you call them back even 5 minutes later, as opposed to answering the phone within 30 seconds. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes, it does.
Yeah,
So yeah, I have a follow-up question regarding that. Now, basically, how does it works in terms of the operations on the? Do I need to connect that to a certain CRM for my clients
good
like
question.
that, or
Yeah,
not?
so these AI agents can because I think what you're asking is can the agent, and by the way, have you heard an agent like it literally sounds like a human. I mean, it sounds like, and it goes through a script to ask the person and to qualify the person just like the human intake team would do. So I was actually just on a call with an immigration attorney intake specialist, like the manager, and she was actually going through and editing the prompt herself. Like I was training her out at how to go in and edit the prompt for the agent because she is the specialist for what they call TN visas, or and I can show you. I mean, so they've got a TN visa and a system, and they want the agent to respond. I can show you. So let me share my screen. So this here is the agent. So you can see this. You can see my screen here. See this chat agent?
Mm-hmm.
So she just went in and changed this to ask this question. This first, are you Canadian or Mexican? I'm Canadian. And it goes through, and the only difference is like, so this is the chat widget on the website. You can actually, we've got our agent connected to a phone number, so the person can actually even text the agent. So it's one agent for chat, So you got one agent on that's connected to one phone number for chat, for texting, for voice, for email, for every way of communicating. It's fully multimodal. So now it's going through and it's saying, let me see if you qualify for the TN visa. So this same conversation could be happening with voice. The only difference is that we didn't call it. We wanted to meet the person where they're at. So I do have a job offer. And Melina was giving me insights into what needs to be said at any given time here so that we can really make sure that we're getting the right information. Awesome. Do you have a bachelor's degree? Yes, I do. Does my job type, see what profession is listed on your job offer? Tree trimmer. And I want to see if this qualifies because there's only 60 job types that actually qualify. Unfortunately, tree trimmer isn't. See, there's a list that we just uploaded to the prompt that helped it understand that this person doesn't qualify because they're a tree trimmer. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. How about the perspective for the LSA for this one?
What do you mean? What
Like
about
the call thing. Is it gonna be the same or
the same? What do you mean? In what way?
and what way in the call? Like someone got
Of,
hurt and asking questions about
of course.
something like that?
Of course. Yeah, there's no difference. I mean, again, this conversation could be happening over voice just as simply as it's happening over chat or text or email. So again, we've got one agent that can handle all types of conversations, no matter where they come from. And by the way, the agent has complete knowledge of previous conversations that it's had with the person. And all of this information gets passed directly into your CRM. So if you've got Go High Level, all of the information can go right into Go High Level.
Mm, interesting.
Yeah. So all of this, so this person, so now, it's again, so I said, no, I'm an accountant. Great to hear that. Accounting is indeed a TN visa. One last question. Have you ever been denied? No. So I've never been denied. So she went, awesome. Based on you qualify. Let me connect you with I can call our office and connect you with someone. Would you like? Yeah. So this is something we're going to change because we're not going to, have you can't make a call from a chat, but their team now knows that this person qualifies. It's seeing this, and this is where let's see, and this is what we got to change. So so this is where it's going to get okay, what's your first name? Okay, so it's getting the person's name and everything. Okay, so what other questions do you have?
Well, my question is on the call part thing. Like
Mm-hmm.
we are only using local service ads and we have an AI chat box for the website. Um, my question is this. So how do we connect that? Like what is the structure of all this to simplify for the clients that we have and for us as well? How does it work?
What do you mean? I mean, so when you say that you've already got an AI agent connected, I bet you don't, because I bet it's just a chat. It's probably just an old chatbot where
Yes.
yeah, it's like
It's on the WordPress, you know. You
yeah,
just have
yeah.
to
That's
connect it.
not that agent does not have a brain. Does that make? I hate to be like blunt, but like that agent doesn't. It's not an LLM. It's not. It doesn't think on its own. It doesn't. Does that make sense? Like the
Yes, yes.
what you've got is just an if this then that type bot. If we can go to their website, I'll show you. I mean, I'll show you what I mean. There's not a smooth conversation that happens. It's literally like it's got the little pills that give the person the option of what to say next. But that's not a fluid conversation type AI agent. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. So basically, what you are trying to promote here is on the AI agent for the website, right? Not for the local service ads. Like when
No,
they
I'm
intake
I'm
call.
promoting an AI agent for all your calls. I'm saying every business needs an AI agent for every conversation that happens with the business, whether that comes from local service ads, whether it comes from the website, whether it comes from, doesn't matter. The intake team is going to miss calls invariably. So there needs to be a backup. And the backup, the best backup is not a call service. The call services are all going out of business because the agents are taking their jobs, because the agents do a better job of answering questions than, because all you got to do is train it one time. And just like I was training the agent with Melina from the immigration attorney office, she now has brain dumped all of her knowledge about immigration attorney work into the agent. So it now knows all of the qualifying questions that she would ask anybody. So she doesn't have to do it. Her intake team never has to do that again. So now her intake team can spend their time actually on calls that mean something. Are you able to show your webcam, by the way? We can't see you. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah, it's quite the let me see. Okay,
No, it's
is
a
it better?
shadow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
I can't see
shadow.
you. But anyway, you're like in the dark. You're like in the shadows. But anyway, yeah. And same with you, Paul. I mean, it'd be good to be able to see who we're talking to. But because I'm giving you hopefully some some time here, some education, some training. It'd be good to see you. I've got S here as well, and you've got some good questions. Hey, S, what's going on?
Hey guys, nice to join you.
Yeah.
Sorry, I lost track of time.
So we got Hennessy, who we had on before, and then Paul. Hennessy's the creepy shadow guy that's on the wall there. You know, and then Paul's the circle.
Batman.
Paul's the circle in the middle, the white dot in the middle of the black page. So we got good questions though, because they're asking good questions about you know the AI agent. Like Hennessy, I'd love to go to your attorney's site so that people could actually see like what the difference between the old chat bots are and what the new ones are. I mean, you just saw an example of a very elegant conversation that was orchestrated by a a smart AI agent that actually understands about the firm and what their goal is and what questions need to be answered. So it'd be, I mean, and we can call the agent. I mean, we can make it so that you can actually hear what it sounds like.
Yeah,
But
I
it's
love that.
yeah. Here, I'll call one.
Ryan, by the way, I just called the Ultravox one. It's pretty good.
Well, it was good. Yeah, right. Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's interesting, right? I mean, I put the exact same prompt that
Yeah.
we, and we do notice that you get a better result when you call it, right? Because the connection is much clearer. It's like not voice over IP. It's actually
Yeah.
a phone call.
Yeah.
So that, I think that makes a lot of difference.
By the way, I think Hennessy might just be an early version of an AI. Like they're like, all right, we just started doing videos, so I can't tell anymore.
Yeah, I think so. I think
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I think both of them are. They they've got it's all good though. We're here to help no matter what. So let me I'm gonna find one here that we can call. I'm gonna call one of our demo agents, and so that you can hear it. If you're you just got to be quiet, and that way we can here, wait, where'd it go? Here we go. Plumber personal injury. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna call the PI one. Hopefully this one works. I haven't tested it for a little while. Okay, so I'm making the call 1772. Oh wait, 1774 772 6090. Okay.
Hello, thank you for calling. My name is Ryan, and I'll be happy to help you with any legal questions or concerns you may have. What matter do you need help with today?
Yeah, I got totally jackknifed and when I was driving here in Palm City, Florida. I want to see if I have a case. Can you help me?
I'm so sorry to hear that you were involved in an accident. That can be a really traumatic experience. Yes, I'd be happy to help you explore your options and see if you might have a case. Can you tell me a bit more about what happened? For example, do you know if the other driver was at fault? And did you suffer any injuries or damage to your vehicle?
Yeah, it was definitely their fault. I mean, my vehicle was pretty much totaled, probably $30,000 loss.
I'm so sorry to hear that your vehicle was totaled. That's a significant loss.
Mhm.
It's good that you're aware that the other driver was at fault, as that can make a big difference in determining liability. In Florida, where you are, there are specific laws regarding car accidents and insurance claims. Since the accident was in Palm City, which is in Martin County, we'd need to consider the local laws and regulations as well. I want to connect you with a qualified attorney who can help you navigate this process and ensure you receive the compensation you deserve. Would you like me to transfer you to a human representative who can discuss your case further and provide guidance on the next steps?
Yeah, but I mean, I really want to know if I have a case. I mean, do you really think I have a case? I mean, what else do you need to know in order to know if I have a case or not?
To better understand your situation and determine if you have a case, I'd like to ask a few more questions. Can you tell me, one, did you seek medical attention after the accident? If so, what were your injuries and have you received any treatment or therapy?
Yeah, so I did actually go and I broke my leg, and so I did get treatment probably 2 weeks out after. Does that mean I qualify? I mean, how soon do I have to get treatment?
I'm so sorry to hear that you broke your leg in the accident. That's a serious injury, and it's good that you received treatment. In Florida, there's a statute that requires you to seek medical attention within 14 days of the accident to be eligible for personal injury protection, PIP benefits.
Yeah.
Since you received treatment 2 weeks after the accident, you're still within that time frame.
Okay.
Given the severity of your injury and the fact that the other driver was at fault, it's likely that you have a strong case. However, to further discuss your options and determine the best course of action, I'd like to connect you with a qualified attorney who specializes in personal injury cases.
Okay.
Before I do that,
Can you transfer me? And yeah, it's really not a big deal. I got a bunch of sympathy when I broke my leg. Thanks for the for the sympathy there. But yeah, can you transfer me to an attorney?
I've taken note of the information you provided, and I am going to transfer the call to a human representative now. You'll be speaking with someone who can further discuss your case and provide guidance on the next steps. Please hold for just a moment while I connect the call.
All right, so it's calling.
Mm,
Yeah, it's calling me right now.
awesome.
The call is being transferred to a human representative now. You should be connected with someone who can assist you further with your case.
Yeah. So, I mean, I wanted you to be able to hear it, but I can't take the two calls at the same time. But what it does is it actually gives a debrief of the call to the person that actually answers. And then it says, hey, I'll leave you guys, from here. You guys can take it from here. And it'll actually give a debrief of what they found on the call, what was determined, and why, the agent will basically say why he thinks that the person's got a case and why they don't. So, I mean, that sounds pretty realistic, doesn't it? I mean, I don't think anybody would be too dissatisfied with that type of an interaction. Do you?
Yeah, that was terrific. For
Yeah.
LSA, you will be killing with your response time.
Yeah. Well,
So
it's not only response time for the phone calls, it's response time for the message leads, and it's not pretty much all the LSA response tools out there for messages are all robot. They're all the old agents. I talked to a business yesterday, and they're great if that's what you want. But I want the agent to be able to have the full conversation, because I can tell you most intake for attorneys, because I've been dealing with them for better part of 8 years now. Attorneys, a lot of attorneys. We've been around for 16 years, but with attorneys for about 8. And what we found is that they really get focused on the phone call, and their intake really spends a lot of time on the phone calls, and they're not designed to take message leads at all. So what ends up happening is there's this weird sort of assignment that happens for one person to be able to take the message leads, and then they don't do it. And so because they got the phone, they're used to the phones. That's the kind of lead system they have. So everybody's by the phone, but they're not getting the message leads. They're not designed to do that. Does that make sense? So
Yes.
this is the reason why the opportunity with these guys is to get them to truly use an AI agent that not just sends an automated response just to get Google to see that there was a response, but that actually takes the person through the conversation, like actually qualifies them. That's where these guys can really win some cases, So anyway, any other questions?
Yeah, yeah. How much does it cost?
Well, it depends. For Accelerate, it's on the website. You can go to accelerateyourmarketing.com. Everybody's consolidating right around like a $2 a conversation like scenario. It's right around, kind of like that $2 a conversation price point. And that applies for voice, text, chat, etc.
So it's $2 for package, right?
Yeah, per conversation. So
Conversation.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's still kind of early days on that. So I've always said with AI, right? Like, there's businesses that pay millions, right, to bring in an AI engineer. There's enough videos online that's like, I built my own chatbot with N8N and Zapier and did all this stuff, and it was effectively free, right? And so it kind of runs the gamut. And so, like, the way I kind of talk about it would be like, how much does the website cost, right? Like, there is the kind of do-it-yourself cheap version, and then there's the people are still building websites on large contracts, right?
Mhm.
And so I think this will settle out a little differently. And what we found is, like, I mean, we have a DIY platform, right? And I both have a DIY platform.
Yep.
Right. And we go, hey, if we do it on subscription, people don't think about it. Right. It's not getting to the point where it's metered use. And what Ryan said about it consolidating around $2 a conversation, that's what the Salesforces of the world, the Googles of the world, right? I don't think Google has kind of a DIY product, but the Salesforce one is they're saying an AI has a conversation, right? It's $2 a conversation. Whatever the human equivalent of that is, like, we just did something to cover our costs, right? But that's a purely DIY, right? This is a, hey, go online. And sure, you can build a website online. It's DIY, right? But, like, most business owners, it's not their day-to-day, right? Like, they barely do their own marketing. They barely do their own website. Like, the last thing they're going to do is like, hey, I'm going to update the AI agent for this slight change after listening to one phone call. So, like, a lot of our clients will be like, hey, like, I'd rather just hand it to the pros, right?
Yeah.
So there's going to be more and more of those options. And, like, I tell people, they'll always bring up kind of the price thing. And I'm like, hey, I strongly encourage it, because we'll charge like $500 a month, right? And they go, well, I just saw this video, I can do it. I'm like, please, like, do it. Like, I'd rather you do it yourself. It's almost like, oh, I want a website. Well, why am I paying you this much? You're just going to go on WordPress. I can do it myself, right? And I actually like it when they do it themselves, because then they've actually thought through all the things. Yeah. And we can just go in and be like, okay, that was a nice demo. Now it's production ready, because there's just like so many edge cases, and then there's so much, like, kind of, I describe it as like piping, right? Like, you can have an AI agent on the telephone number. It sits in its own technology stack, but you use 4 other pieces of software, right? And so naturally, your next question is like, well, if I didn't have to enter that information from the call into my CRM software, then that would be fantastic. And we're like, yes, that's actually like where we jump in, and we go, okay, like, we'll, have the done for you option. And so we can just build it, peace out for 2 years, and then when you need to tweet Wally again, we'll come back. You know?
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah, I have a question. For me, like I'm an agency. I handle some few PI lawyers. What are the options for me? Because if I take it with you guys, I'm thinking about the problems that might cause in the future that I need to go back to you. And what if, the time is not that I don't have the luxury of time to check on you. So how it works, for example,
What do you mean?
what are options I have? Like I can like what you have said. You said earlier that I can white label this one, or as you said too, that there's a DIY, or what are
Yeah.
the options that I can have as a marketing agency that handles clients?
Yeah,
Because basically,
there's a lot of options out there. I mean, there's I mean, like I said, if you want if you want somebody to just do it for you, there's the Accelerate Marketing, which is, I'm the founder of Accelerate Marketing. That's what they would do. They would set that up for you. There's all kinds of DIY platforms out there that are springing up, and there's this is there um, S has got his own platform. There's a lot of different platforms that are out there. What I would do if you're looking for a DIY platform, there are certain things that I would look for. I mean, obviously, their experience, like how long have they been actually like building the platform. I would actually look for a platform, and that is built on a non-workflow type software. That's like, in other words, not like built on Make or anything like that, because there's a lot more flexibility with the softwares that are built on like JS Node, except for example, or Python. You're going to have a lot more flexibility to do things that you want with the actual phone calls, with the conversations that happen. You want to make sure that you're able to have a good voice. I there's a lot of new talk out there about speech to speech versus speech to text to speech. That technology is coming out now that is different. It's unique. You want to make sure that you can do a warm transfer. Warm transfers I think are very important, especially for attorney work. The ability to be able to do a warm transfer is very important. And there's some platforms that do that really well. Some that don't do it really well at all. And then so those are some of the things that I would look for. Is
So I guess my question for you, Hennessy, is like what level of involvement do you want to have? Right?
Yeah.
Because that kind of determines it. Because it's kind of like saying, hey, if I wanted a website, I could be like, hey, build it on WordPress, $25 a month. Do it on Squarespace. Hire some marketing agency. All right.
Mhm.
And there's just different levels of like how much do I need to be involved, and so it really depends on that.
Yeah.
that's a very good question you got there. Now, what I'm looking at is actually that I can able to do this entirely entirely not depending with you guys, but I want to do it with you, like because you are an expert, like this is
Mhm.
what you do. So that's a type of thing that what I'm looking for is the like subscription nowadays, like that, the tutorials, training, and basically all I'd have to do is integrate this thing to you guys, and this kind of thing, like just like on high level, like
Mhm.
I white label you and I integrate you to the my
System. Yeah.
guys as well.
That's the
Is
other thing.
that
You
something?
want to make sure that it does integrate with like Go High Level, whatever system that you use. I would also, especially if you're using that, and Go High Level is great for an entry level. I mean, it's good for entry level, but again, it's not very flexible. It doesn't have one phone number that is attached to the chat, to the voice, to the text, to everything. So, and I don't, I haven't looked recently, but I don't think that they have memory of previous conversations. I don't think their agent has like a recollection of, previous conversations. And I don't know how good they do warm transfers and, all those things, and look, this isn't how you do anything is how you do everything. Go High Level is really good. They're like the Swiss Army knife of digital marketing. But they do a lot of different things. They just don't do a lot of those different things really good. And this is the reason why. And I would, and you got to consider that for you guys, and this is, why, you really want to work with somebody that does have experience, especially with your vertical, because from my experience with attorneys, they want to have their intake have the first 20 seconds. So if you're not working with somebody that knows how to set that plumbing up, the 20-second delay in Go High Level, which we know how to do, if that's what you're using, or through a system like CallRail or Ring Central or whatever, then your calls are then your client's not going to be happy because their intake's not going to get the first shot at the call. And because they want their intake to look, if I had right now, if I had a shot at giving a call to an intake person that's well trained, that's a highly valuable lead, like an expensive lead, like an attorney, that I know has got about a 50% like conversion rate or better, I'm gonna have that lead go to the intake, the human first. Potentially. It all depends.
So I think Ryan, your answer is go with Accelerate, right? Or do it on the DIY platform.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right?
It's either well, it depends. If you don't, like as said, if you want to do all the work yourself, if you just want to basically say, hey, you know what, I want you to do it. Here's my client, and you're okay with the client actually meeting the Accelerate marketing team, and then that's Accelerate marketing. If you want to white label something, that's a different story. That's, then that would be more of a DIY thing where you're white labeling it, you're putting your branding on the software. It looks like it's your software. Does that make sense?
Are you white labeling, Ryan, with DIY? Yeah.
Yeah, there's the potential to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So we do a white label at $2,000 a month. So like the idea is like, but you would still manage it. But the managing is pretty easy. Mm-hmm. So like, like what you're really doing is just kind of the prompt and then monitoring the conversations. I think that's really like what your client would kind of expect from you, right? To say, hey, let me take care of intake. We'll create an AI, like create an intake AI from the prompt. And then, I'll be an admin on that. I'm going to see all the conversations. The client will see all the conversations, right? And I actually think like you're sitting at a really interesting place as an agency who, your client expects a certain amount of personalized service, and they probably outsource you for all the tech, right? And so you sitting in that position, like you can manage the AI too with the tools that like, Ryan's team, like, my team put out.
Yeah.
And it's kind of designed for these small businesses to say, hey, look, do a $500 subscription because you pay your intaker, a couple $1,000 a month. And so like net you're saving, and you planted a seed into the future too, right? Because, Ryan and I kind of work together on some of these enterprise ones because we know inevitably after they put in the intaker, right, they're like, well, how do I do the integration part, right? And then we just kind of build, on the build. If a lot of stuff could be done in the afternoon, in which case it's a couple $1,000s for a one-time build, right? And while we build, it actually makes sense for you to be asking the questions, right? Because again, you want to build Wally that first time, right? and allow the client just to hit play, and then hopefully not come back for 2 years and think about any of it, right? But I think in the interim, with a relationship like that, right, like if it's anything mechanical, right, like your Roomba doesn't work, like that's on the responsibility of the technology providers, the platform providers, right? But as far as it's the ability to, like, if something behaviorally you want to change, oh, I don't like how it said this stuff, right? I want to change it myself. Then you would just do it yourself, right?
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what are limitations for 2000 white label thing that you said? For
So
example, how
yeah,
many clients they can house in for that?
so like with ours, we kind of consolidate around the $2 per conversation, right? So like, so when a business finds us and they go, oh yeah, I want an AI with phone number and text, right? It's $500 a month now, right? But for agencies, like, and I'm just kind of, explaining how I think about pricing, and of course, like you can choose what you'd like to do. And I actually like Go High Level's model on this on white label, which is that we have a minimum that we need to satisfy, right? So for us, out of that 500, you know, we split half of it with the agency, right? And we say, hey, for every business you bring on, so long as you bring, it's 250 a month, charge them 500 to do that management too, to do the professional prompting, right? And just keep everything on top. And so we've had salespeople that go, hey, I charge a client 5,000 for a setup, right? I was like, okay, well, I wasn't involved. We just provide the technology, right? So long as we cover that monthly subscription, like you had to sell it to them, right? You had to explain, answer questions. You're the one that, like, 11 o'clock at night, it has a conversation, says something wrong, like they're going to you, right? So I mean, I think that model works well for agencies. There's like a minimum cost for us to take care of the tech, and then whatever level customer service is up to you, and then whatever you charge on top of that is yours.
Yeah. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes, it does.
Okay.
Okay. Do you have
Awesome.
any like demos or something like that, like case studies or whatever it is that you have, so that I can tailor this to my client as well and study this one, if this is a good opportunity for us to have. Do you have
Yeah.
something like that
Yeah.
structure?
Yeah. I mean, we've got all kinds of, case studies, and we've actually seen, like, specifically for attorneys, when we turn the agent on, um, we get a significant increase in lead volume, and we've got some very specific numbers around that. So we typically see, if the AI agent is initiated, we typically see about a 10, 20, 30% increase in phone volume over time, as long as they, I'd say over a month or 2 or 3. Um, if it's handling a good number, if it's backing up the intake, and if there were missing calls before. We also, what we'll see is a better conversion rate. We'll typically see some more message leads come in, but it's not because the client's ranking higher. It's because that little blurb below their ad changes from typically replies in an hour. We saw it when we looked at the personal injury. There's some of them that typically reply in an hour or in a day or whatever. Well, those guys, people are not going to choose them because they see that they don't reply very quickly. So therefore, because of just not natural selection, people are just going to go, okay, well, I'm not going to choose this guy because I'm on chat right now. I want to talk to somebody now. And so we typically will see a little bit of an increase in the number of leads for messages, and potentially even a better conversion rate because they're responded to so quickly. That's what we're really looking to do. We're looking to get data around increases in return on investment. That's what I want to know. I want to know ultimately, and it's tough to get because you got to really know the before and the after. The basic numbers that we're getting right now is, okay, how many more leads are you getting? The other thing we're finding out, and S put this together in a spreadsheet, which is really good, is is how many actual appointments are being scheduled for people per the number of people that actually call. In other words, do you get to a booking? Are you more likely to get to a booking or the desired outcome with AI or with humans? And so this is what we're looking to measure, and we can see that it's definitely there's a lot of data out there from other agencies, where we see that there is a higher percentage of people that actually do the outcome, typically with AI agents.
So, I got a question for you, Hennis. Um, your clients, do you do marketing as well? Do you manage their website?
Only the Google Map Pack.
Got it.
Map pack.
I mean, I was gonna bring up like, we have a couple of like website widgets, and you know how like there are some lawyer sites that you're just like, oh my god, when I hit it, it's like there's a lead form, there's a little chat widget, there's like in the heading is contact us, and there's like 8 different like call to actions, right?
Mhm.
And with one of the clients that Ryan and I have together, we're like simplifying that. We're like, man, your website, if they could just start talking to you, to an AI about what their accident was, like you don't need all that other stuff. The other stuff was just there because there wasn't such a comprehensive, like real time solution, right? Um, so that actually helps. And what I've seen on SEO, the fact that they stay on the website for a lot longer, like you just rank higher organically because Google is just rewarding you, you know. And then I would also add on the case study. I'm always a little skeptical of them, right? And
Mhm.
I find what's even better as a weeding out, because you're going to have to identify which clients you are like are open to this, right? I've always found, hey, I'm just going to give them a telephone number, right? Like call it. Sure, it says, Keller Swan right now, right? But like they can use your imagination, be like, find and replace your law firm name, right? I find that demo is even better at talking about case studies, right? Because like it really depends on the firm. Like there's some people who like, they're great on intake, right? And so they think they're better, and so they might even say, hey, look, the end result was fewer cases because it really mattered that there was a personal touch. And then there's some firms that are just like, yo, we don't even answer them, like we don't do message leads. Like, anybody who comes on the website just goes into the abyss, right? Like, and so it's really hard to kind of say, hey, look, like, okay, what was 100% increase for this firm is not going to translate to another firm at all because they just have completely different processes and priorities, right? And so I find that like, it's always helpful because you have to learn how to sell it too, in a way, right? It's always like we have law firm agencies, right? And I was like, well, you need to try it yourself and build an AI on our platform yourself and get a business plan so that you know how to do it, because there's no way you're going to be able to sell this to your client if you don't know how to do it yourself, you know? So that's what I always encourage as like the first step. Like, Ryan showed you the telephone call, right? Like go on either of our platforms and just basically just build it yourself, right? Use that as an example to your clients. And then you'd rather not, waste your time pushing these clients and doing something, right? Than just giving them a phone number, be like, I think you should have an AI agent, right? And have them experience it themselves and basically just give you a thumbs up on that. Thumbs up
Yeah.
or thumbs down.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. So yeah, I mean, we don't, we're coming up on the pretty close to the end of the hour here. It's 5 till. It was a good conversation, and I'm glad that you guys jumped on today, and asked you as well. Let me see. Is there any? I heard somebody else. Um, if anybody has any questions, you can always, like I said, you can go to the school community, skool.com/local lead labs. How did you find out about this, Paul? By the way,
Yes, yeah, sure. Actually, this AI agent thing is really interesting.
yeah.
That
How
is,
did you find
yes,
out about this workshop?
yes, it's really helpful, especially to us. Although I am only into an optimizing thing on LSAs, but this AI agent thing is really interesting.
Okay,
Yeah, really there.
but how did you find out about this workshop?
What do you mean? This workshop
How
like
did you learn about it? How did you get here today?
just I am also a member on local lead labs school.
Oh,
Um
got it.
yeah,
Okay, good, awesome.
yes.
Thanks for being a
And
member.
like
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like getting insights from other experts, especially from you when it comes to optimizing LSA. So it's really I'm really glad to be here
Oh
actually.
yeah. No, I'm glad that you're here. If you have anybody has any questions, if you're watching it afterwards, comment any questions. I didn't see any questions that came in. It's always good to have people that come into the call and ask questions, so that we can get real live. It's much better to have somebody on the call that we can talk to. And I'm in a very competitive area. My calls keep dropping. I'm doing everything right. Over 100 plus reviews. Some days I'm at the top. Some days I'm at the bottom. Dallas. Okay. Um, okay. Are you doing it? Are you talking about local service ads? Or are you talking about Google Business Profile? Over 100 reviews. Some days I'm in the top. Reviews are there's a new ranking factor for reviews. By the way, it's the recency of the reviews. So you want to make sure they're very recent reviews, and all the reviews are now just going to the Google Business Profile page. There's no local. Yes, LSA. Okay, they're not going to the local service ads page. Thanks for jumping on here. Please go to our school community, skool.com/local lead labs. You can learn a lot more there. We've got a ton of free data that will help you identify all the right things that you need to be doing. Like there's literally hours of content. I don't know if Paul or Hennessy, if you've watched the free content, it's all free. It'll help you get your LSAs right. I don't know if you want to say anything about, are you in Dallas or are you in, what area are you in? And then, yeah, I mean, it does make sense that you're, and what vertical as well. And then, we've only got about 2 more minutes, but I mean, and thanks for putting the comments in here. These are great. I mean, it always is nice to get questions or at least get, comments in here, and join us next time. We'll go in and I'll give you an audit, like basically my 16 years of experience. I'll share with you in terms of what I'm seeing for what you're doing. If I miss one call, how long would it? Oh, a while. Roofing. Yes. Okay. Yes, it can affect you for a long time. And this is why I'm saying it really, and this is a great way to end. Like if you miss, again, these LSA, these agents are really not expensive if you really think about it, because you're, as you've seen Dallas just exemplify here, he's what I hear all the time. I used to, when I actually took the sales calls, I would talk to 2 or 3 business owners a day. And every single time they would say, man, I used to get a ton of calls. I'm not getting any anymore. This is why we do audits, because we don't take on everybody. It's a good thing that you're at least getting leads, because a lot of times Google will just shut off the faucet. They will not even give you any more leads. So you've at least got an opportunity to prove to Google that you're making you're making a change. And then what I would do is I would implement an AI agent to back up your intake people, give your intake the first 20 seconds, put in that plumbing that we talked about with CallRail or Ring Central, and then add the AI agent to your LSA message leads to respond to those, and then to everywhere else. Put it on your Google Business Profile page. Put the chat on your website, like Les was talking about. Put the phone number on your website at the top. Click to call, and then make the phone number go to your intake for the first 20 seconds, and then the AI after that. I mean, these are really like long-term strategies. Right now, you're not seeing very many people do it, so there's an opportunity to really outrank your competitors by doing this stuff. So, hope that helps. You can text us as well, 619-304-5155, and we'll answer any questions you have. We'll give you a free audit if you just text the word audit, we'll give you a free audit, and our agent will actually communicate with you on the on that number as well. All right, thanks guys. Have a good
Thanks,
rest of the
Ryan.
day.
Thanks,
All right.
guys.
Everyone.
Thanks, Ryan.
You bet. Bye bye.